Recently, my family, me, my wife, and our daughter Olive, teen, had my sister, brother-in-law, and their son Aiden, tween, over to stay for a week. 2 days before they left, Olive's Nintendo Switch, which she bought with her own money from her job, went missing. All 7 of us turned the house upside down, but we didn't find anything. Flash forward to 2 days after they left our house. I got a call from my sister. Apparently, Aiden stole Olive's Switch and then went to his mom when he broke it. She sent me photos and it was smashed to smithereens, completely beyond repair. My sister apologized, but when I asked her to pay me the $350 so I could buy a new one, she said she didn't have the money. She said the most she could do was $100, and I said that wasn't good enough. Note, she's yet to send me any money at all as of now. Here's where I might be in the wrong. My wife and I have the money to replace it without a significant setback, while my sister and brother-in-law don't. I talked to my wife and Olive about it, and Olive brought up taking them to small claims court. She's been watching a lot of courtroom drama shows lately and is very interested in the law in general. We told her we'd have to think about it. Afterward, my wife and I had a separate conversation. I'm of the opinion that they should take responsibility for their son. My wife said that we shouldn't be petty because we have the money to just replace it. We decided to wait before making any drastic decisions, but I can't keep my mind off this. So, am I the idiot if I take my sister and brother-in-law to small claims court over my daughter's Switch? I've been in contact with my sister since, but every time she says she doesn't have the money, she finds excuses for not talking. You are the idiot. I mean, crap. You go from, they can't afford it, to, should I take my family to court over $350? Do you think taking them to court will make them be able to afford it magically? Did you even ask if they could maybe make monthly payments to you so you could just buy her a new Switch and move on? If you can't do that and attempt to work something out on your own, taking it to court would be a wasteful joke just to end up doing the same thing here. Nobody's saying that the court would make them afford it. The idea behind going to court is that the court would force something adjacent to a payment plan so that while they can't pay the full amount, they'd eventually end up paying it off in legally enforced payments. OP has said that they've tried to work it out, but that the sister is dodging calls or having an excuse for why she's too busy to talk, and clearly isn't interested in resolving the situation beyond, will you settle for $100? And we've grounded him though. OP, you do know nephew destroyed the Switch out of spite. Do you buy Aiden presents for Christmas and birthdays? Give him a coupon for $25 off his debt for each gift until it's paid off. It's a practical solution. For the next 14 cards, Aiden will get a fresh reminder of the money that would have been in his hands if he hadn't stolen it. And this directly punishes the thief rather than sister-in-law. Sister-in-law is responsible for this, by the way. She does bear culpability for raising the monster and then shielding him from accountability. However, your idea is great. By doing it this way, OP's helping sister-in-law by doing some parenting that sister-in-law has neglected. Teaching that actions have consequences is a valuable lesson, regardless of who does the teaching. My sister-in-law, Stephanie, recently had a baby. Stephanie wants my partner, Kate, Stephanie's sister, and me to be his godparents. I was honored and initially agreed. The trouble came a week ago when we discussed becoming godparents. Kate's family is Catholic, not strict or devout, but Stephanie still wants her son to be baptized through the church. I discovered that to be a godfather, I'd basically be required to become Catholic. I'd need to be confirmed by the church and would be strongly encouraged to attend weekly mass, pay tithes, etc. Kate and I would also need to meet with a priest to discuss our living situation because we live together. We've been together for 14 years, but not married through the Catholic Church. I'm not religious. If I had to identify, I'd probably say agnostic, maybe leaning towards atheism, and I don't feel comfortable with converting to Catholicism to be my nephew's godfather. I explained this to Stephanie, and she got very upset. She said I should be willing to go through the steps, and that I could just not participate in the religious aspect afterward. i.e., officially becoming Catholic. After the baptism, I could dip out on attending church, tithing, etc. I'm very firm in my decision that I don't want to go through with this, but Stephanie is insistent that since I won't really be Catholic, it won't make a difference in my life. She says, "You'll just be Catholic on paper." Stephanie now threatens to not let us be involved in her son's life anymore. She told Kate, if he's not devoted enough to nephew to do this, does he really care about nephew? And how much can he really care about you if he's willing to ruin your relationship with nephew just because he doesn't want to jump through a few hoops? Kate is fine with my decision. It is possible for a child to only have one godparent, and since she's Catholic, she would be willing to be the sole godparent. Stephanie isn't okay with this option and says, it's both of you or neither of you. Am I the idiot for not wanting to be involved in this process if it requires me to join a religion I don't feel comfortable with? Even if I wouldn't technically be required to participate in the religion after the baptism ceremony was over. Not the idiot. I am godfather in title only, myself, but if it forced me into a religion, regardless of how involved I would be, I would have also declined. It's an unreasonable request. P.S. Stephanie is an idiot, trying to correlate not being willing to join a religion to not loving your nephew. It's blackmailing. That's what it is. Ask Stephanie to convert to another form of Christianity that is more relaxed. Since she says converting is not a big deal, let her show it. You're supposed to join a religion because you believe. Going through the steps would insult that deity and true believers of the religion. Does Stephanie realize that, or is she religious for appearances? Either way, if you did what she wanted, I would say you were the idiot, like Stephanie. Exactly. As long as one godparent is Catholic, the other one doesn't have to be. You could stand as a witness. It's preferred, but it's optional. Also, I'm not sure Stephanie understands what goes into becoming Catholic. You don't take a few classes and you're done. It's a year-long process with a lot of meetings, personal discussions, and evaluations. It is a lot to ask. If Stephanie's throwing out ultimatums, let her. Call her bluff. The bottom line is, she's expecting you to follow her beliefs for her convenience, but she will not allow you to follow yours. Last year, I started going to the gym, and I love it. Working out is now my favorite hobby. I look better, feel healthier, and am more confident in my body. It's just been an improving factor. My girlfriend doesn't like working out. She's come with me to the gym and doesn't like it. I don't push it on her, but I would be happy to be able to share this hobby with her and improve ourselves together. Exercise is also an aphrodisiac, so I would love for her and me to work out more together. I follow a lot of fitness influencers on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, some of whom are female. The majority are male. However, a not small portion are women. I don't follow out of physical desire. I just think any muscular physique is interesting, and it introduces me to more workouts than I'll sometimes incorporate into my routine. My girlfriend and I were in bed yesterday morning, and I was scrolling through TikTok with her. On my For You page, there was a fitness influencer who was showing off her leg routine. I scrolled past it, and in about 5 minutes, 4 more female influencers showing off their bodies showed up, and it was pretty much all glute and leg exercises. My girlfriend said it's crazy how good their bodies look and that she would love to be built like them. I thought this comment from her was a hint that maybe she would want to try out some stuff at the gym. So I said that if she wanted a body like that, she could start working out, and that doing a lot of glute and leg exercises could give her the results she wanted. I suggested we find her a trainer, or if she wants, it could be just us. I was excited to share this part of my life with her, but she was not into it. In fact, she was mad at me for suggesting she go to the gym. She was so angry that she got out of bed and went into our living room for the rest of the morning. When I asked her what I did wrong, she just said that I made her feel bad about her body. She then returned to her place, where we were supposed to spend the day together after we both got off of work. I feel confused. I really don't see what I was doing wrong, and I feel like she kind of flew off the handle for no reason. Am I the idiot? You were looking at influencer thirst traps in bed with your girlfriend and then told her she could look as good if she worked out. I have no idea why you're confused. You are the idiot. I feel sorry for you, mate. A majority of influencers don't just work out for a body like that. It's a well-known secret that, in addition, you get things like lipo, breast augmentation, skinny Brazilian butt lift, etc. for certain proportions. Saying that if girlfriend worked out, she could get a body like that is naive. Agree. Your girlfriend feels self-conscious about her body, but you follow a lot of thirst trap TikToks, even if you think they're educational. When your girlfriend stated she was self-conscious, you should have told her that you loved her body like it was, not giving her an overly detailed explanation of how she could look like your fantasy woman. I completely disagree. If she's unhappy with her body, there's a solution. Your last sentence is wrong, and you're putting words in his mouth he never said. I think you live in a fantasy land where problems can be solved with lies and validation. She said she wanted to have a better body. Unfortunately, there's only one way to do that. Get your butt to the gym. I feel like she's insecure and doesn't like hearing the truth. Not the idiot, OP. Everyone here, including your girlfriend, lives in an invisible world where practical solutions and pragmatism doesn't exist. Validation and reinforcement are the only values they want. It really is our responsibility to become the person we want to be. We're also allowed to make mistakes and say the wrong thing. A simple apology should suffice, but I wouldn't take back your statement. My 40 female, last remaining parent, passed away 6 months ago. I have a neurotypical twin sister, 40, and a high-needs nonverbal neurodivergent sister, autism and Down syndrome, 35. She lives in a group home. Our parents years ago asked us to be legal guardians. She'd still live in a group home, so we wouldn't have to do physical care, but would be responsible for her affairs, meetings, and decision-making to our disabled sister. I refused, but my twin agreed to it. Our parents tried to play it off, like it would be super easy and no big deal, as she was in the group home. I knew better because I saw how much work it was for my parents, even when she was in the group home. But sister believed every bit of BS our parents spewed about it being easy. I tried to tell her that was not the case, not to discourage her, just so she'd go in with her eyes wide open. She scoffed and said I was exaggerating. We never got along that well. Well, now she's demanding that I become co-guardian because it's too overwhelming for her. She believes I have all the time and the money in the world because I'm child-free, and she's a single mom to 3 kids, female pre-tween, male kindergartner, male toddler. For those reasons, I should be a co-guardian and take most of the load. While my hubs and I do live comfortably, we're not exactly the Vanderbilts. I told her that I didn't want to be an idiot and say, I told you so, but that I warned her this would happen, which is why I didn't want to take it on. I told her I wouldn't judge her if she signed over guardianship to the state, as it's a lot for anyone to handle. She got very angry with me, saying that I'm selfish and it's not what our parents wanted. I told her she made and is continuing her choices, and I made mine. I do not dictate how she lives her life, and she has no right to tell me how to live mine. Am I the idiot? Edit. Also, my twin got a larger inheritance for taking on the job. No objections from me. Not the idiot. She asked, and you answered. Not only that, you told her what the answer would be. It's not your job to look after your sister. Instead, they relied on their other children to take care of her as their plan. This is never a good plan. It's not the children's job to pick up the slack. While I do feel for your twin sister, caregiving and burnout are really easy to get, and she didn't heed the advice. But really, your parents are the biggest idiots in this story. I'm curious what you think the parents could have done in terms of their options for when they were no more. They gave their inheritance to the kid who would care for the one who couldn't care for herself. They spent their lives taking care of her. What else could they have done before passing on? Essentially, this is simply a really difficult situation. Everyone's the idiot here. You don't owe it to your siblings or dead parents to take over the guardianship, but some compassion wouldn't kill you. A single mom of 3 kids under 10 feels overwhelmed. She tries to get you to share responsibility for your disabled sibling. Your response was, "I don't want to be an idiot and say I told you so, but that I warned her this would happen." That is very literally, "and I told you so." And it's a response that lacks compassion for someone who seems to be working very hard to take care of other people. You seem to have a lot of anger towards your family. Maybe you felt burdened by your sister growing up. You have the right to set boundaries, but the level of anger in the "I told you so" energy isn't setting boundaries. It's being unkind. Your sister probably didn't choose this responsibility because she wanted to be a martyr. She chose this responsibility out of concern for your other sister and out of respect for your parents' wishes. You should be able to respect that, even if it isn't the choice you would make for yourself. Recently, my friend group has been divided on an issue. I have a group of 6 friends and their significant others from high school. All of us are in our mid-20s. Jessica's the only person in our friend group who has 2 young children and is a single mom. I'm the only person in my friend group that can host, as my husband and I own a decent-sized house and don't have anything stopping us from hosting, I guess. One doesn't want to host, 2 live with their parents and can't, another has roommates that won't let them, etc. We all live in a rural area, so there isn't anywhere to go for more than a quick dinner, so someone hosting is the only way we can all hang out. When I host, it's always later in the day, around 7 p.m.-ish. That's when most of us are off of work. I also have a no children rule for my house, since my dog is afraid of children, and I honestly don't like kids anyways. My nephew yanked my dog's tail several times, so now my dog growls at kids. I had a gathering last weekend, a dinner time barbecue. Everyone was invited, the same rules as the norm. Jessica asked if she could bring her kids because she couldn't afford a babysitter since both of their dads aren't involved. I said no because of my dogs and also because I don't want her baby and toddler at my house. The last time she brought them, she kept pushing them off on other people who didn't want to hold them so she could relax. Also, her toddler puked on my 5K white couch, which I had to replace. No, she didn't pay for it. Jessica blew up on me in the group chat and said that I always exclude her. I told her I was not excluding her. I was excluding kids. All kids. She's welcome to come if she finds someone to watch her kids. I also told her she was welcome to host. She kind of went on about how none of that is possible, and now she isn't talking to anyone. Our group is split. Half think it's my house, my rules. One said maybe if she had intimacy with better guys, she could have a babysitter. And 2 think that I should just let her kids come. If it was someone else, I would maybe cave, but I don't like Jessica that much, especially since she didn't pay for my replacement couch. Am I the idiot for making child-not-friendly plans that someone in my group can't make it to? Oh boy. One said maybe if she had intimacy with better guys, she'd be able to have a babysitter. Honestly, I think Jessica needs better friends. You're an awful judgmental person. Friends are supposed to be kind, compassionate, and benevolent, not judge on whatever high ground they think they belong on. My mates and I would all chip in for a sitter once in a while if one of us couldn't afford it and couldn't come otherwise. What's that between 6 couples? Not a lot, if they're genuinely a friend. Exactly. She buried the real reason right at the end when she said, I don't like Jessica that much. Just stop lying to yourself and admit it's because you want to exclude her. These types of people are why any sane person runs out of small towns ASAP. I wouldn't be friends with them either. You are the idiot, not because of not wanting kids at your house. That's fair game. But because of the spiteful way you guys all talk about Jessica while pretending to be her friend, which just gets worse. There's not 1 ounce of empathy to be found. Jesus, it's not high school anymore. You're allowed to drift apart as life and circumstances change, but mean girling her behind her back isn't nice. Who owns a 5K white couch that also owns a dog, who replaces a 5K couch because of baby vomit. With the cleaners and fabrics available now, I'm sure some soapy water would have gotten it clean. I've worked with restoration for a long time. You can order replacement fabric and get part of the couch reupholstered too. You're just making up stories. Stop being this woman's friend. You admitted you don't like her. She deserves better than you and your snobby friends.